Mr. Beast has been in many controversies, like the time where he paid for people's operations, that demon, the time where he planted trees, the time where he gave away lots of money, and let's not forget, the time where he cleaned the seas. Well, that demon has got into controversy once again, and the parasocial Andes have come out in force to give their opinions on things that don't apply to them. Why Chris will soon be a nightmare for Mr. Beast. It's probably gonna be something that's completely made up and manufactured for no reason. Let's see.
Situation could become a complete disaster for Mr. Beast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the Mr. Beast channel.
Basically, Chris is just not cis right now. I don't think that they said that they are anything specific. They use any pronouns. Whenever that happens, you know, people that are completely unrelated to the situation, the parasocial Andes will be mad for no reason.
Mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck-loving dude. Yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making...
Okay, I don't think that painting your nails is specifically feminine. I think that painting your nails just makes you look cool. I think black nails on people look really sick.
Tweets such as, "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs I had to prove I was myself because I quote look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?"
He still looks pretty similar, or they still look pretty similar. Actually, he uses any pronouns. You can use he, it's fine. He still looks pretty similar in that picture. Also, I have a uniquely beneficial scenario with this where I have never changed how I look since I was like 12 years old. So I have no problems. My driver's license that was created in 2014 looks exactly the same as I look now. I have not changed. I look the same as I look when I was like 13 years old.
Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better." Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his Mr. Beast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which...
That's a crazy thing to do. Wouldn't that like damage the fish? I've seen videos of people strapping GoPros to like cats and stuff, and that's sick. Seeing a cat like run around on its daily usual grind is awesome. They go around and they talk to other cats. It's brilliant.
Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay, so some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails? Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild.
Why did that get upvoted? Are people gonna ignore Chris's nails? Yeah, you're gonna ignore Chris. Dude, who cares about people's nails? What are you so invested in someone else's life where you're concerned about how someone's nails look? Is that something that you're like, I need to spend time and energy on? It's such a strange thing to care about.
The video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty...
What? I can't believe Carl turned Chris gay. He must have put gay juice in his black coffee to make him gay.
Ridiculous.
What?
Carl isn't
That's
even
insane.
that feminine, and Chris had come out as
I'm pretty sure, I think Carl is straight as well.
Bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that...
Well, I mean, it could be that he just wants to keep his family life private, considering how much of a huge person he is on the internet, and that being a big personality on the internet can lead to backlash against yourself and also your family members should anything happen. Like, for example, you want to express yourself in a slightly different way that could lead to backlash against your family members because people are fucking deranged.
He'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails.
Bro, oh my god, people have way too much time on their hands. Are people not stressed about money and like rising energy prices? Is this what people spend their time doing? women. Bro, it's more productive to write a thesis on Five Nights at Freddy's lore than to go in depth on this.
Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails.
3.9 thousand upvotes. He went from lighting campfires and raising a family. I'm pretty sure he is still raising a family. He's just not with his wife, and he just separated from his wife, right? And that doesn't mean you can't light campfires. You probably still light. If you enjoy lighting campfires, you're gonna enjoy lighting campfires whether or not you're trans or non-binary or whatever. That doesn't stop you liking campfires.
Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self, he'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image, showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this, before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders. Chris would expand on this by stating, "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies,"
And that was the end, because everyone collectively decided that letting people do what they want and making informed decisions with their own bodies was a completely okay thing to do. Especially the freedom type of people that were like, "Don't tread on me." Everyone collectively decided, yes, actually, you're right. We should let people do what they want to do and not make choices for them instead. And that's what happens. And oh, we're only 3 minutes into the video. There's still 6 minutes left. Okay.
A positive response from both Carl and Mr. Beast, who wrote, "Got you. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. "There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times."
Bro, what do you think you are? In this scenario, do they think that they're the strong man? Because in this scenario, they can't be the strong man. They must also be a weak man in this scenario. If it's the weak men creating hard times section of this, then they also are weak because they're complaining about shit that just does not affect them at all. They're not creating a society that accepts people. They're not doing anything productive. They're complaining about someone else being feminine.
Weak man times. Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't."
This is so weird that random hard men online are concerned about Chris's child. I can't believe that Chris is teaching his kid that it's okay to not be the societal standard, and that if you're a little bit different, then that's not something to be worried about. God damn, he shouldn't be doing that.
Born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything.
Do you think a kid raised in a loving family with a loving parent or loving parents that support them in their decisions and help them create informed decisions, will a child in that scenario grow up and be like, "Damn, I can't believe my parent made me learn and be informed. I hate them because of that"? I don't think so.
"I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker." Chris's response.
That's actually a pretty good argument to make. In order to be the best parent you can be, you have to be the best form of yourself. And the best form of yourself is someone that enjoys the skin that they live in. There's someone that is confident. There's someone that's proud to live in the way that is true to them. And in that way, you can be a better parent. You can't be the best possible parent you are if you're sad and depressed and you feel like you're not seen in the way that you want to be seen.
Response received some positivity such as, "I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life, as well as I adore that. I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty."
Dude, this is 1,300 likes? What do you mean you ripped apart your family? Do you think that they got divorced because he was like non-binary or something like that? How can you possibly know? Dude, these parasocial aunties are so weird. How could they think that they know what is going on in their personal relationship and they're psychoanalyzing why a couple split up? Dude, just write Five Nights at Freddy's fanfiction. It's more productive, I promise.
Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house, a life full of difference and being alone. Must have missed the point in that tweet.
What? I mean, there may be, I don't know, he's gonna get torn apart at school, so like he's gonna get made fun of for having like a certain kind of parent. I guess that might happen, but I don't think that's any reason not to do what you feels right to you, because the kids get slapped up for that. You know what? Just teach your kid how to fight. Just tell him to punch him in the face.
For him when you're depriving him of a father figure. Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from Mr. Beast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe.
Okay, so I have a question for these people, right? If your friend comes to you, and this is your friend that you've known for many, many years, and they sit you down and they're like, "Hey, I really trust you. I think you're one of my closest confidants, and I'm not feeling comfortable in my skin right now. I think I need to do this. I think I need to make these changes." Are you gonna look them in the eyes and say, "Well, no, brother, you shouldn't be doing that. That's gay. You can't be doing that"? What kind of person does that? Does a person that do that actually have any proper friends? What the hell is that?
Simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life."
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say, dude? You're gonna say, like, no, stay by the societal standards. You have to be sad. You need to be sad because society says that male is one thing, female is another. You're one of the two. You have to be sad. If you feel any different, then fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. You have to be sad instead.
In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the video.
Dude, this is made up. People are not actually angry about this. Come on, man.
For example, in a recent live stream titled "Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes," Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe
because they knew it was gonna get an insane amount of backlash, so they were just like, fuck, I mean, people are gonna be absolutely dicks for no reason.
He was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look.
Do you think, I mean, how do you know it made him uncomfortable? I mean, let's watch the clip.
They drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, Mr. Beast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member
I don't know. It just seems like a normal stream. I mean, these people aren't even on stream that often. How can you analyze how people are feeling from just a normal stream? This is what streamers get pissed off of a lot, is viewers will try and tell the streamer how the streamer is feeling. And these are also people that don't stream very often. And they knew going into this that this is going to get backlash because there are always people that are fervently against this for some reason, even though if it has genuinely nothing to do with them at all.
Started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, clipping and adding stressful music can make this vibe anymore. Yeah, this seems like, I don't know. I don't like how this is being framed, like by Sunny V2. This music is inserted.
Other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude.
Jimmy was very, very sad in this situation. You can see, and it'll play like a 1-second clip of Jimmy being like, oh, okay. It's like, you can see that Jimmy is very sad. The situation is tense and awkward. And it plays like a 5-second clip. And it's like, you can see it's tense and awkward because they said, all right. And that makes it tense and awkward. I don't know. The framing in this video is like, no, it's not ideal.
Dude, nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100.
Dude, these people just don't stream. I don't know. Maybe it's just something to do with that.
Million views worth of drama and criticism.
Bro, I saw some of these TikToks. I genuinely saw some of these TikToks, and I looked at the comments, and I'm like, these people are so invested. And it is insane how invested these people are. Like, it is someone else's life completely and entirely.
Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen?
Yes. That of course will happen. Like, sudden changes will always receive backlash because humans as a whole don't like change. But the longer that something is like that, the more people just get used to it. Over time, people just get used to it and people stop caring because it's not really something that you need to care about in the first place. So yeah, that is going to happen.
Well,
I'm pretty clear. I'm pretty confident.
The situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues...
Didn't Chris, like, a while ago tweet some, like, super edgy stuff about, like, Islam and he's done some, like, anti-LGBT jokes in the past. Honestly, I think this is just character development. People can change, people can become better, people can improve themselves.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
Would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place?
What do you mean jeopardize the personality traits? It's not like he's a different person, he's the same person. If anything, this person is just like, this is the more confident version or the more comfortable version. I've changed so much since I started doing YouTube. I don't make some of the jokes I make anymore. It's like, is patterrz jeopardizing some of the things that made him big in the first place by not making that same jokes anymore?
Perhaps
no, I don't think so.
Will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in...
Also, why is picking up personality traits related to, like, being famous? People are just how they are. It doesn't. Do you collect them like their skill points? When you level up, do you invest in new skill trees? And you're like, well, I'm going to go on a live stream with MrBeast soon, so I need to get the skill points that correlate to being good. I need to get the good joke and the witty skill tree. I'm going to invest in that one.
Many comments supportive of Chris, who imply that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos.
Yes, he may improve the confidence of millions of queer children around the world. But what about the bottom line? What about the views, baby? We're talking money. That's what really matters. What the fuck,
MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway. And if we've learned anything...
What? This is such a weird argument. Is he trying to like both sides this? He's trying so hard to like both sides this and like, oh yeah, it'll improve some people's lives, but like gay people already like MrBeast, so like why is he trans now? Like Hollywood, I don't understand it.
It's that adding over the top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video.
Okay, well, that's not what he's doing, though. Like, I assume that Chris is not a character, right? Chris is a real human being, right? I understand that adding over the top, like, diversity quota meeting things that people get annoyed at that because there'll be a character that comes in and he's like, I'm gay, and the personality trait is that they're gay and that they're gay, and it's like, okay, well, it's, you know, a character can be gay without like constantly saying I'm gay every 2 seconds, but that doesn't really happen. That's kind of a made up thing as well. For the majority of the part, that doesn't happen at all. And people will point to one example because they don't have many examples to point at. But Chris is also a real person, and they're allowed to live in any way that they want. So it's weird that he's comparing like a gay character in the piece of media that isn't real to an actual human being that is real. It's very strange.
On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority. Although, as we have seen...
What? Okay, so we don't put like non-binary people in anything? Imagine that. Well, actually, you're not a white man, and most of my viewers are white men, so can't have you in. Imagine telling that to like a black person or a woman, like, ooh, yeah, you're not a white guy, and most of our viewers are white guys, and that's uncomfortable and unrelatable to the majority of the audience, so I don't know. Might have to cut you. The fucking silent majority, what's this? Do you think the silent majority is transphobic? I think the silent majority might have some transphobic tendencies because it's just a societal thing. Society in general teaches you to be, you know, quite transphobic from the get-go. I mean, I know I grew up as like, I had transphobic tendencies and like transphobic ideas when I was younger, but I grew and I developed and I became, you know, a better person, I think anyway. But what does this mean? Like, most people don't fucking care. This is a culture war, weird issue that is taken to the extremes that really doesn't matter and doesn't appeal and doesn't, most people don't care about this. If you were to go and ask like a random person on the street, they'd be like, I don't know. Like, people can do what they want, I guess. This is not a big issue. This is not a genuine concern for most people. It's just a made-up thing to get mad at because if people make you mad, then you engage more. This is it's ridiculous.
Chris does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit for the Mr. Beast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So you're a
Keemstar fan?
The problem is
This is such a weird way to frame the video as, oh, you exist? Well, you exist because we need to monetize it. We need to manufacture this into views. This is just a person that is just living the way that they want to live. That's it. That's it, man. It's not like it's something they come up with in like a boardroom. It's like, Chris, we're gonna make you trans because it'll get more views. And Chris is like, all right, I guess I gotta be trans now. Like, I guess I gotta go on HRT because it's gonna get more views if I go on HRT. Like, what the fuck?
Situation is probably the last thing that Mr. Beast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for Mr. Beast. I think Jimmy is in an...
Why is he playing sad music? Where's this like... Why is he playing sad music and saying, oh no, Jimmy is locked in a prison and he can't say anything. Maybe he's just like maybe he's a good friend. Maybe he's just a good friend. And that's it.
Inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable
His channel will die if Chris is trans.
Situation is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it is.
Dude, people are so terminally online. That is an insane thing to say. That everything that Mr. Beast has built is going to go into nothing because someone is trans. What a ridiculous... That's fucking insane. Dude, why do people not put this much energy into like exercising and like doing press-ups or going out and like making or feeding like homeless people? That's crazy.
Deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare. Jimmy has no option but to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never...
All right, well, fuck them then. Jesus Christ. This different group of people that is annoyed because what, someone is trans? It's like, oh my God, no. Oh, we're gonna get rid of this whole group of people. They're gonna be so annoyed that trans people exist. Okay, and that's fine.
Express their true feelings and may rather simply...
I feel like the people that are genuinely annoyed at this kind of thing should look inwards. Why are you upset? Why are you upset that someone is trans? I don't understand. Maybe look inward. Why is this something that sparks rage inside of you? Is this something in yourself that you need to work on? Do you believe that this is genuinely a massive issue that you need to fight a war on? Or can you just let people live the way that they want to live?
Click on fewer Mr. Beast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable.
Dude, this is so fucking weird. This is such a weird way to end the video.
Arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy.
His friend really put him in a mess of a situation. What? What was he supposed to do? Replace his brain with another brain? They're saying, oh, if you're just stay in the closet, actually. Just stay in the closet. I can't believe you trying to be comfortable with yourself has put your friend in this situation. You should have just stayed in the closet. 0 brain cells, man.
Yeah, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
What the fuck was this video, Sonny? What is going on, man?